morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to everyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Melbourne, Australia. And today is an exciting day because it is the day that our new September to December mini catalog has gone live. It's now available for everyone to purchase from. It's also exciting because if you are a scrapbooker, there are a whole bunch of new scrapbooking or memory keeping items available in the online store. This is a result of Stampin' Up! They didn't acquire Close to My Heart, but they made an agreement with Close to My Heart when they shut down earlier this year to bring Close to My Heart makers into the Stampin' Up! Fold and to expand our memory keeping line. And so there are some Close to My Heart products and now a new Stampin' Up! Line of memory keeping products available in our online store. So if you're into traditional 12 by 12 scrapbooking, you'll be very excited because Stampin' Up! Has made this big move back to that. That has not been my thing typically, but I'm glad to help you out if you have any questions about it. There are all kinds of exciting things in this catalog for both holiday specific. This is not holiday specific, although it leans a little bit, some of it towards Valentine's, but not really. But there's a lot of autumn for the Northern Hemisphere and some good not non-wintry specific holiday things. That's wintry, but non-wintry things that work for us here in the Southern Hemisphere as well. I think that's really, really pretty. They call it Regal Winter, but I don't think it's very wintry. Anyhow, there's lots in there. If you do not have a copy, a hard copy, and you would like one, you are absolutely welcome to email me, Nancy at Nancy's Nifty Notes. And if you're in Australia, I will send one out to you. If you're not in Australia, I will hook you up with a demonstrator in your market. There are also links from my website, nancysniftynotes.com, to the online version of this, and anyone can go and take a look at it. So today, let's see who's here. Hello, Paula and Jenny and Gladys. Thanks for joining me this morning. I am going to make some fun cards. I made a couple because I just couldn't resist. These are using the Hearts and Hugs stamp set and this Full of Life designer series paper, which is absolutely full of bright life. I do love this paper. And so I made a couple the other evening because I just loved them. So I'm going to make a couple more for you. And I will have all of the measurements for cutting your strips for both A4 cardstock and the first one I'm going to make today is going to be on letter size cards, A2 cards. And these are I'm going to make two today, and these are the papers I've selected. So I just need to figure out which one I'm going to do first. I'm going to do this one first. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. Sorry about that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down to the right height. There we go. And then I'm going to cut for little strips. I really like to cut, I'm going to show you, on the right side of the trimmer. This trimmer is really nice because it's got up to about 1.5 inches or just over 3.5 centimeters on the right side of the cutting strip, which means you can have your it makes it really stable to cut small strips. If I'm doing it this way, it's much easier to get it cockeyed, if you will. So I'm going to cut on the right side, and I'm going to cut right there. And I'm going to cut 3 strips. Right, so I'm going to set that part aside for something else. And I'm actually going to use them this way. And then I have a basic white layer, and I'm just going to glue these on. And you could use either side of these papers to do this. And I've told you before, I think I like to work horizontally a lot of times because I can see that I'm getting an even margin all the way around more easily when it's oriented this way. And I can put my paper straight on my grid paper and know that that is straight. It just helps my eye align everything. So there's the right one. And now I'm going to do the left one. And again, I'm going to put my cardstock square on my grid paper. Get an even border all the way around. And now when I do this one, it'll be easy to get it even in between them. Now, this has a little bit bigger gap in between each strip than I probably really wanted. I might go in and rework my width of my strips, but I think that's going to work just fine. And I'm going to set that aside while I make my image. So I'm going to bring in the mouse hugging a heart. Let's see what I got here. If you have joined me, please do say hello so I know who is here. And while I have my stamp pad out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp another one of these. What did we say it was? A hamster. Here we go. I just think they're so cute. As soon as I saw this being demonstrated at On Stage convention in March, it went right on my purchase list. So I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to use one of these Spotlight on Nature dies, the one that's got the radiating stitches, and I am putting that a bit off center there on purpose. And I'll go ahead and cut out the hamster or gerbil or whatever he is. I keep wanting to say chipmunk, but I know that's not right. I think he's a hamster. Okay. And now I can get all of those out of the way. we will color in little Miss Mousy here. I've got gray granite and gray granite, and that's petal pink. I'm going to add, I can add those in there. A few little hearts like that. There we go. And now we will color. So I'm using the gray granite light. Hey Sarah, thanks for joining me. Go around the edge of the ears. And the tail. And I just very lightly touch the very tip of the brush to fill in the tail. What's going on with you guys? And the body. Go. I'm going to bring in a little bit of dark gray granite just to add a little dimension, I guess. And a little bit of blending in with the light again. There we go. And now I'm going to use the dark petal pink on her nose and the light in her ear, hands, or front paws, and rear paws. It hardly even looks like a color. There we go. And now I'm going to use some Berry Burst for the heart. This is just the light Berry Burst. Let's see if we add a little dab of the dark here somewhere. There we go. There's that. I think it's going to go about there. I'm going to bring in, this is the Diagonal Trim Combo Pack, and it's a 2-pack of white and petal pink. And I'm going to do my usual sticky tape trick. And dimensionals. Why don't we go ahead and put this on the card base. This is a gray granite card base. We will put that on. Paula says it's blissfully cool here tonight. Good. Yeah, we've been having wild weather here. Lots and lots, days and days and days of really high gusty winds. Monday was really bad. A lot of people lost power. So there's the little mousie. And then I just slide that underneath. Where I want it and give it a pull and trim. Oh, chemo on your face, Jenny? Yeah, I know several people who've done that. I hear it's kind of uncomfortable, but then you have good results ongoing. So there's that. Let's put this little sentiment on there. So I've got this little strip, and I'm going to bring in, I'm going to do sending a big hug on the front. Now, if you have one of these blocks, you're going to say, oh, that fits that sentiment really well, and I won't rock it and get edges and what have you. But what I find, it's really hard to see through because of the edges of the block to make sure it's lined up really well. So I use a bigger block, which may be why Stampin' Up, I believe, just discontinued these blocks, because people were finding them not as useful as they seemed they would be. So that's my tip, is use a wider block than you think you really need. So I'm going to just snip that on an angle. And then somebody showed me if you line up that angle, you can kind of see through it and so you can get it right where you want it, and you've got exactly the same angle if you go like that. So that's pretty cool. And I will add that on there. I think we use some mini dimensionals. And then for inside, I want to go ahead and add a little more. Whoops. This says, so it's there when you need it. And I'm going to add a few more of these heart clusters. color those in real fast. My holiday was very good. It was nice to have a block of days with Glenn, with neither of us really having things that we had to do. On the last day, Glenn had, well, there were a couple times Glenn had just little things that he had to do for an hour or so, and I was happy to just sit and read in the hotel while he did them. But it was a really nice getaway, and I learned a lot in Canberra about history and how Australian politics and government work, which I always enjoy doing. So there's that. Yep, there's that one. And now we're going to make a second one. And need to decide which way. I'm going to go this way, I think. Okay, so this one goes to 13.9. And I'm going to go this way. Oh, that's going to wind up cutting right on the white lines. Kind of. Okay, let's see how that works. There we go. And two of those. Yep, that'll be just fine. So again, we're gonna glue each strip. And again, lining up on my grid paper keeps all of my lines all working the same way so my eyes can track it all better. To make my alignment, there we go. And now the last one. You can see how these are pretty quick and easy to get together, especially if you do something like sit and do all your coloring in one go and then assemble. There we go. And color this guy in. We're going to do basically the same thing again. Gray granite light. You can use, of course, whatever colors you want. I got that on his muzzle, which I didn't want. I'm going to bring in a little bit of color lifter here to get, I don't know if you can see it, I went over the line just a bit. So I'm going to get that cleaned up a bit. And dark. I'm going to bring in my light again and do some blending in. I'm going to leave a lighter spot right in the middle of his belly. Let that sit for a minute. Okay, dark petal pink nose. Light petal pink ears and paws. Scribble a little of that in there. And now the color lifter, I'm going to do a little bit more in the center, but I am going to use a little bit kind of all over, because when you do it kind of patchy, it makes the ink a little patchy and it makes it look an amazing amount like fur. But I still want this center to be kind of highlighted as a tummy. So I'm going to let that set and see how much it pushes that ink to the back. And we'll see how that goes. Let's do our sentiment. I'm going to come back here and do, sending birthday hugs again. Another one of these. And again, we will cut that as we want it. And bring that in on this side. As a template. Good morning, Christine. Thanks for joining me. Yep, I'm going to like that. Once again, some ribbon. Now, obviously, you can put the ribbon wherever you want based on the pattern on the paper, I think is what I'm using. Just whatever my gut feels as I go to assemble it. And I have another gray granite card base there. Get some dimensionals. Some minis. That one there. Another length of ribbon. And this one, I'm just going to keep it plain inside, I think. And both of them, here we go, both of them need some embellishments. So I think this one I'm going to use, these are, let's see, Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And on this one I'm going to use some Lemon Lime Twist ones, I think. One, two, three, and then on this one, I think we'll put some of these Berry Burst. There we go. There are my 2 cards. I want to try to shift that around a little bit. Let's see here. Nope. Let's stay right like that. This one's got a little bit more on the inside. This one's plain on the inside. But I think those are fun. Here are the 2 that I made previously. You can see I used that starburst kind of pattern. And this is the same pattern, just different color palette. So I hope you'll give these a try. I will have the measurement for doing these strips and layers on the blog post, which will be my next blog post. And you can always look it up by the name of the video, which is Hearts and Hugs Full of Life Cards. And I will be back same time, same place next week. See you then. Bye-bye.